You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. And now, Reverend Elliot's Magical Window with Reverend Elliot. Live from magic-works.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Reverend Elliot's Magical Window on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Greetings, fellow seekers of truth, wisdom, and light. This is your old buddy, your friendly neighborhood esoteric practitioner, Reverend Elliot, coming to you live from the city of New York, where we get together every Wednesday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific. I did it again. I did that last week, too. I said mountain. It's like I've run out of tea. You know, I've been drinking a lot of tea lately, and I've run out of tea. 9 Mountain. These letters, you know, we only have, 26 of them? Maybe 58. I don't know. I've always felt that there were some letters they were hiding. I don't trust them. So I have to go leave one out of a word. 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific. And we are going to look through the magical window of the tarot, where we can find out what's coming up in our lives. We can find out what is going on in our lives that we don't know about. Things that people don't want you to know about, we can find out. If there's somebody who is at the office, for instance, if you're still working in an office as opposed to home, you know, if somebody's making things bad for you, hey, you know, we can look to see what's going on. There's all kinds of things. Court cases show up in the tarot. People call, ask me about things like love and romance, and then I see that there's a court case going on, and I ask them, and there is. That's what tarot does. It gets right to the heart of the matter. And how does it do that? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Don't even believe anyone who says they know. But I have a few theories, and I list them all in my book, Reverend Elliot's Magical Window, which you can get for yourself if you want to learn how to do this. I think it's a swell way to help people, and it's fun to do at parties. You know, people love it. You just do little readings. I mean, I do fast readings here, but you could do 2 or 3 minute readings, a minute at a party. People just love it. They eat it up, and that you can do it free. Get practice. That's the best. Practice in anything is offered to do it free. But after a while, when you're good at it, then you can just start charging a nice, rational, normal fee to do it at a party. I've done this at art gallery openings. I've done it in restaurants. I've done it in bars. They've do it. And it's always a good thing. You know what the best time of that, the most fun, is when a bar wants to have a Mardi Gras celebration, and they do it on Mardi Gras. And you just sit there and read cards for the customers. They just love that stuff. It's just fun. So what we're going to do tonight is take another glimpse through the magical window of the tarot. And if you enjoy what you hear and you see the possibilities in this being able to help you, all you've got to do to get a longer reading is contact me at asktarot@earthlink.net. That's ASKTAROT at earthlink.net. It's my nice old-fashioned email, Earthlink. And we have all the time in the world together. You know, when we get on the phone, it's you and me and nobody else. I don't put you on hold for anyone else. I don't leave you waiting. It's just you and me. And we can do it by Skype if you want, if you don't want to do it by phone. I do these things all over the world for people. And the readings, you know, an email reading is just $10. But it'll look deeply at an issue in your life, and you get a 2-page report from me. Now, if you want to do a full reading with me, great. I can do it for 15 minutes, a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, even longer, whatever you want. And you can find the rates at magic-works.com, magic-works.com. Just scroll on down and you'll see the rates, because I believe in listing the rates ahead of time so that you know what you're getting into. And we don't charge any more than that. Once you and I agree on something, that's the price. Even if it takes a little longer, so what? We throw that in as extra. Because, you know, this is unpredictable. As you'll hear in the show tonight, sometimes a reading goes longer than we thought. So what we do is we just keep going. Anyway, that's just letting you know that I'm available. And this is a very good time. A lot of people are nervous. A lot of people are anxious now. There is, as I've mentioned before, there's a lot of highly paid media people whose job is to scare us. And we've been through bad times before. There's no reason to make this into a panic. And getting people scared is how some people make an awful lot of money. And you know something? Sometimes people do that with tarot too. And that's why I say to people when they ask me, how should I pick a tarot reader? Anytime you go to a reader, just apply the same thing that you would with any other professional. If you feel worse after dealing with that person than you did before, then you don't go back to that person. They're pulling a scam on you. So, you know, if you get a reading from somebody who says, oh, look at that. I see that you're cursed. Got to go now, you know, and then they call you back and say, oh, by the way, I was thinking, now that you're cursed, I could get rid of that for you. Now, you see, that is a racket. The ethical tarot reader doesn't exploit people. You know, people who call it a tarot reader trust the person, and it's up to us to honor and respect that trust. And that's why, as a member of the American Tarot Association, I'm not just a long-time member, but I'm on the board of directors. I'm the vice president of communications, and can't you tell I'm a professional communicator? But if you want to go to my website at magic-works.com, and when you scroll down and you look for the rates for a personal tarot reading between you and me, you'll also find a link to the American Tarot Association Code of Ethics. You see, and you look at that, and you'll see that is how an honest tarot reader behaves. And if we find out that a member of the ATA is violating those rules, that's it. They're out. No second chance either, because it's trust. It's a matter of trust. And you know, you're calling a stranger, for goodness sakes, and you're opening up and you're telling what's going on in your life. Now, you cannot take advantage of that in good conscience. I'll give you a perfect example. I have had calls from people in these past 2 weeks who want to pay me for a reading to see if they're going to die in the near future. Now, as I said, there's fear out there. Now, what kind of a human being would I be if I took money to exploit that? I mean, then I would be as bad as the newspaper publishers who scream, could this be the end of the world? Could 5 billion people die? You know, there's an old law. And by the way, I'm a journalist myself. I mean, I have a lot of journalism history. And I'll tell you something, that there is a law called Betteridge's Law of Headlines. I want you to keep this in mind. You can look it up. They have a marvelous website. Betteridge's Law of Headlines says any headline that ends with a question mark can be answered by the word no. That is going to ease you a lot. And as I said last week, I believe it was, any headline that has the word could in it or may or reportedly is garbage. It's just a way to critically look at this, because like I said, there are a lot of people out there who want us scared so that we would tune in and raise their click rate, raise their viewing audience if it's cable. And that means big money to those people. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing to be concerned about. Of course there's something to be concerned about now. But to exploit that and scare people and hurt them, that's unconscionable. And I, as an ethical tarot reader, will never, ever, ever, ever do that. And I'm telling you now, if you call me for a reading and we decide to, say, do a 20-minute reading, and at the end of 20 minutes, I see something pretty bad coming your way, I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to keep looking at I'm not going to say, hey, look at that. Your life's falling apart. Bye-bye now. No, that's why I never book calls, tarot readings back to back. You know, back to back would mean I'm stuck. I'm locked in. I don't do it. I probably make a bit more money that way, you know, an assembly line way of doing it. But no, I've got to prepare for the chance that the cards may be telling you something you don't want to hear, and we can work through it. Now, I don't really believe that there's such thing as a bad reading, not like in those movies where everybody gets a tarot reading, ends up being killed by like a polar bear in the middle of August in Waikiki. You know, I don't believe that, but it can show you things you don't want to see. Now, that rarely happens because the people who call a tarot reader for advice are very positive people, and they're taking steps, they're taking action to work out whatever the situation in their life is. So that indicates a very positive outcome just by doing that, by taking action. So don't fall for those movies that try to scare you about tarot. That's just cheap horror sensationalism. It's, you know, Hey, what can I tell you? You'll know. This is fun to do. I wouldn't have been doing this for 30 years if I didn't enjoy doing it and meeting people and helping people clarify them. And as an adjunct to that, I do magical ritual work so that if something comes your way in your cards that you're not too thrilled about, I can show you how to do some ritual work to get around that. Enough about that. You're going to hear what I do. No point in me telling you what I do. Why don't I just do it? So I've got the incense burning, I've got the candles burning, and I'm going to ring a bell 3 times now to declare that from here on in, we're in sacred space. Now I'm going to pull back the curtain on the magical window for Connie in Litchfield, Minnesota. Hi, Connie, you're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hi.
Hi, Connie, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing better. I'm getting over all the crud.
Well, maybe we can make that even better. How's that? What would you like to look at?
What I want to know is, the guy that I'm currently dating or seeing, is he the one that I'm supposed to be with? Because I don't know if it feels right or not.
Oh, well, you mean the violins aren't playing? And the soundtrack in the background and all that. I think Hollywood has ruined romance for people, you know. I mean, I don't know. It's Hollywood has given people such weird expectations about romance. I was involved with a woman once for a couple of years, and she was really happy and said to me, you know something? I'm so happy with you, I'm going to leave you. What? She said, because if I'm this happy with you, imagine how much happier I'll be with somebody better. And
right.
I said, oh, okay. And then she said, but don't worry, if I don't find anyone better, I'll come back to you. And I said, you do that and see what happens. You know?
Yeah. I take it you didn't see her again, right?
Oh, I saw her from time to time, but no dice, you know. I mean, we ran into each other here and there. But after that, gosh, this is going back long before most of you listeners were born, right? But I've been married now for over 30 years, you know. So, boy, am I going to get in trouble for not knowing. I'm going to get in trouble for not knowing the exact date right offhand, you know.
Yeah.
But it's 34 years now. So let's see. Let's take a look at what you've got, because this call is about you, not about me. Now, here we go. This is an excellent card for what I just asked, because it's the 7 of Cups. Cups are about romance because it's about emotion and things of the heart. The 7 of Cups may be indicating what's going on here, because that's a person with unfocused ideas. So you really don't quite know for sure if this is the right one.
Right.
The next card.
Yeah, I don't, because I have kind of a habit of picking people that aren't always so good. So that's why I'm just
you and everyone else, right? You know, I used to be able to go into a crowded room and pick the one person who was going to be the best at ruining my life. You know?
Yep, that would be me.
Yeah, well, then a couple of years of therapy helped me out there too. But, well, you know, isn't that funny how that works? We can spot them, right? Well, let me tell you this. The next card is the Star. Now, the Star is a card of hope and optimism. So that's telling me that with this particular person, you've got a good chance.
Okay.
Now, the next card is the 4 of Rods, and that's about a happy home. And then here's an interesting card, is the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups is about it's about 2 different things. It could be the beginning of a new relationship, or it could mean that a relationship you're in is going to reach a new level. And that's how I'm going to interpret that in this particular reading. I say give it time, hang out, you know, get to know each other. How long have you known each other?
Only a couple months, 2 months maybe.
Okay. Yeah. So you know that's still you're just you're coming out of that.
Yeah, it's a long distance thing too, so it's that's hard too.
Yeah, so it's long. Oh, that adds a lot to it. Well, I'm seeing here that there's great possibilities, because I've got 2 very happy cards here. I've got the 10 of Cups and I've got the 4 of Rods, and those are 10 of Cups is perfected happiness. Now, out of 5 cards here, 3 of them are Cup cards, so that's telling me that the cards really are responding to your question, because it was about emotions and romance and love. There's a possibility, very strong possibility, that you are going to reach a new level with this person and reach a lot of happiness. So give it a little more care than you usually do, is what I'm saying, because the key to this is that first card, the Seven of Cups, unfocused ideas.
Okay.
And that's easy to fix. That'll snap into focus. And if it's still new, you only have a few months with each other. So get
Right.
into it and let it, see if it'll grow. And if it doesn't, if it doesn't, then you can try again, or give me another call, and we can see what's happening. I could probably give you a lot more detail if we were off the air and we were doing a full reading, but I don't know that you need any more than that, because this is a pretty good lesson here. Going from unfocused ideas, followed by the card of optimism, the card of a happy home, the card of a relationship reaching a new level, and then the Ten of Cups, which is perfected happiness. So I think this time you've come closer to getting what you want than you have before.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, that does feel good. And let me see if I can pull one more card. Maybe we can put it underneath all these cards to see what the underlying issue is. Well, there you go. That's the King of Cups. Now that's another cup card. So I've got 6 cards here. 4 of them are cups. So we're definitely on the right track here. The King of Cups is the manifestation of something. This is showing that the court cards are about something beginning and growing and forming. And the further on you get in the court cards, from the knight to the queen to the king to the page, it takes more and more shape. So this is telling me that it is taking shape, that this relationship is growing, and the King of Cups tells me that you are right now at a point where this is really taking shape and happening. So give it a shot, and check back with me, or if you can't get through and Ask on Radio again, because I know a lot of people try to get through but don't, drop me a line at asktarot@earthlink.net, and maybe we can arrange for another reading. How's that? So this is looking good for you, Connie, and thanks for calling. Let me just shuffle up the cards now. You are on Reverend Elliott's Magical Window. Well, some of you are on it. You're all listening anyway. You're listening to Reverend Elliott's Magical Window, where we get together to look through the magical window of the tarot. Now, you see how that worked? That was fascinating, because the only cards that I got that weren't cup cards in that call, one was about a happy home, and the other was a major card, which was about hope and optimism. So that's pretty good. Danielle in Princeton, West Virginia, you're on with Reverend Elliott. Hi, Danielle.
Hi.
How are you tonight?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I just love the energy I get from doing this show, and I think that the energy builds up from all the people listening, and it just down through the satellites and over the air and right into me, and I just feel great. It's so energizing. It's just marvelous.
Good.
You got a great laugh. Now, see, that helps an old stand-up performer like me. You hear somebody laugh. Why, that's good. So what can I look at for you? What can I look at? You got me laughing now.
I just want to know about my ex.
About your ex?
Yeah.
Okay, I asked that because this is a fascinating card that I got before you even asked me the question. And I've got 3 more cards in the same suit. Let me ask you, first of all, was this like a relationship that was filled with fighting?
Not really. In the end, it turned to fighting.
Okay, because so it was
we were
argument
together for almost 11 years, and it just in the end, we really began to fight a lot.
Well, here's why I ask you that. I have 4 cards here, and they're all swords. Now, swords are a weapon. And when swords come up, that can indicate several things. But in this case, I go with the idea that it was a kind of it got nasty, and it got to be a struggle. Let me tell you something. When I started reading tarot cards in the early youth, my 30s at the time, but I was reading for a married couple who hated each other. I mean, they just hated each other. And every kind of reading, I would shuffle the cards, I would do whatever I could, it would always come out with a majority of swords. because they hated each other. Now swords they don't always mean that, but right now, when you ask me about, even before you asked me the question, I got the 10 of swords. And then I got the 4 of swords and the 6 of swords and the 2 of swords. Now, I'll tell you what that is. Overall, it's telling me that this was a kind of a tempestuous relationship, to put it kindly. The 10 of swords, the reason my ears perked up when you asked about your ex was the 10 of swords refers to something being over. So this is over, Now, the 4 of swords is where it's about somebody taking a break. A lot of people look at that card and think it means that you're dead, but so the same with the 10 of swords, but neither one of them means that. The 4 of swords is about taking a break, taking time out. And that's what you did, right? You separated, you took a break from each other. The 6 of swords, now let me tell you, when I get to the end of this reading, you're just going to be a little disappointed, but we're going to work with that. The 6 of swords is a card about a person who gets from where she is now to where she wants to be. So that's you. There's something you want out of this, and you're going to work to get it, right?
Right.
Now, here's the thing that you're not going to like at the moment, but we'll work with it. It's the 2 of swords, and that's a person who's stuck and can't go this way or that way. It's a card about a stalemate. It's a card about a relationship stuck, that nothing is going to happen. Swords is a little bit of a different thing here. That's telling me the ace of swords means seeing things in a new way of thinking, because swords are also about mental activity.
Right.
And in this sense, it's telling me that there's a possibility that you and your ex's attitudes may change. I'm not counting it out. And I can't count it out because of that 6 of swords cards, which shows me that you're the kind of person who can try to get what she wants. So keep in mind, this is just fascinating that all 5 cards are swords.
It's funny because we fussed and we fought for a long time after the breakup. Now we're able to actually talk. We don't argue no more. We get along a whole lot better. Like, our attitudes towards each other has actually changed.
Well, there you go. That's the Ace of Swords. There's a new way of seeing things. Now, while you were talking, as a good tarot reader does, I pulled another card, and I got another ace. Now, aces are beginnings. Remember, I said the Ace of Swords, you're beginning to see things in a new way, and so is your ex.
Right.
The next is the Ace of Cups, and that is the beginning of emotional happiness. So I think you have a good shot at it. I told you that 2 of Swords is going to be a little disappointing because it means that you're stuck and the situation isn't going to change. But that only means it isn't going to change now. Okay? These cards now show me that there's a very strong chance of it changing in the future. Now, you mix that with the 4 of Swords that I got earlier, and it's telling me that you just may need a little time out. Now, again, I want to go back to the 6 of Swords because you are a person of action. And maybe you just want to hold off a little while because that's difficult for you. See, this is the problem. 4 of Swords is a person taking time. The 6 of Swords is a person making things happen. So you've got this dual attitude going in your mind, right? You don't know should you do this or should you not do it. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah, see, aren't these cards wonderful? Isn't it wonderful how they work? Well, my answer to you is give it time, but I'm going to take one more card and see if that one card may add something to this. How's that?
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. Oh, man. You know something? This was the card that was on my mind. I could not give you a better card. It's the Chariot. You know what the Chariot is? If it's a chariot, shows a lot of decks show a guy on a little chariot, 2 horses, and one horse wants to go this way and the other horse wants to go that way, and you, as the driver of the chariot, are holding it together and you're making it happen. So that's the card that I put underneath the 4 of swords and the 6 of swords. That doesn't really help much. It explains the situation exactly the way I told you, is that you have conflicting forces that you got to deal with. But that's telling me that you can deal with it. Let's look at a card for the ultimate outcome. The ultimate outcome, I had this earlier for someone, is the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is perfected happiness. So you're moving from the 10 of Swords, which is about something bad is over, to the 10 of Cups, which is about something wonderful and happy. So I think that you're going to, I'm going to give you exactly what I read in these cards. Things are changing for you and your ex. They're changing for the better, but you still need time. Okay? So you're definitely evolving, and these things I can't imagine a reading more on point. I think you're coming in to get a shot at it, and that's a long way from that first card of somebody, the 10 of Swords, which shows a person lying face down in the mud with swords in her back. You know, that's a long to go from there to the 10 of Cups. That's beautiful. So keep doing what you're doing, but just pull back a little bit, because I think that it requires a little more daintiness, if that's the word. Just let it flow naturally. According to the flow of these cards, you're getting there. You're getting what you want.
Okay, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Danielle. It's been great talking to you. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
And we'll shuffle them up again. What a dynamic reading that was. You know, we live for that, we readers. We really do. And it's funny, you see, even before the subject of how's the ex doing came up, I had those sword cards, you know, that told me that there was a relationship that ended, or something that ended. I just understood it to be a relationship by looking at the other cards. That's how it goes, you know, and that's marvelous when the cards can. This is what I mean by information. These cards are shedding light. They're giving advice. Now, notice that the cards, one of the kind of readings that we shouldn't do is, should I sell my home right now? You know, should I put that money into the stock market? Yes or no? You know, we don't do that. When people ask me a yes or no question, my answer is always flip a coin, heads yes, tails no. Because as soon as that coin is up in the air, you're going to know which way you want it to land. So you really do know what you want most of the time. But instead of saying, should I put money in the stock market, the question would be, if I put money in the stock market, what will that look like? That we can work with. A tarot reader can sink his teeth into that, even real teeth. You know, you could tear that, and you could tear into that. You could really do it, and like I said, when you get a longer tarot reading with me at very affordable rates, why, we just spend all the time we need, and we get it done just talking, you and me, like this, without a few million people listening. We're all shuffled up now, and Jessica in Venice, Louisiana is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Elliot, Jessica.
Yes.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Good.
Well, let's see if we can make that any better. What would you like me to look at for you?
My friend passed away.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Was that suddenly?
Yes.
Oh, that's terrible. It's just terrible. Recently, I assume, right?
Yeah.
So are you looking for a message?
Yes.
Okay, let me see what I can do. I don't usually, well, this is almost a joke now, because I always say this. I don't usually do this, but I do it if certain cards show up, and then I know I'm on the right track. So let's see if they show up for you. And if not, and I'm just going to tell you what I see anyway, and go on the supposition that that this is what that is. So I'm going to shuffle them up again.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, I'll tell you why I asked that. Because the first card I have is the Three of Swords, and that is a card of great sorrow. That's sadness, and that sometimes indicates divorce, or if it was for a nation, it would indicate civil war. I mean, it's a sad card. It means family troubles, all kinds of bad things like that. But immediately after that is the Ten of Coins. The Ten of Coins, and this is fascinating in the context of a person who has passed over. The Ten of Coins is a card of parents and grandparents and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-grandparents. It's about ancestors. It's about your whole family line, and it's being with them. So I'm reading this as a person who is now with all the ancestors. Now, of course, that's the old Chinese expression to say when somebody passes away that he is now with his ancestors. But that's what I'm seeing here. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is here, and that tells me that the situation the person had, the very sad situation the person had, has changed. The next card is the Six of Rods. That's a card of success. And the next card is the Ten of Cups, which I've had twice so far tonight, is a card of happiness. So now get this. We start with the Three of Swords, which is great sadness, and we end with the Ten of Cups, which is great happiness. So I'm seeing that this person, it's scant comfort, of course, but people always would say, well, he's in a better place now. But that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that your friend is, in fact, in a better place. The Three of Cups is here now. That's a card about being with friends. So I don't think your friend was particularly happy with life at the moment. How did your friend pass?
Oh, we don't know.
Oh, okay. Because I'm just seeing that there was such an overwhelming sadness at the time, but that's turned into happiness.
Okay.
So that's the message I'll give you. That's the message I've got here. Now, in fact, here's one of the cards that I look for in all of this to see if I'm really dealing with somebody in the other side is the Judgment card, which refers to the Last Judgment, where the people come up out of the grave and all of that, and the horn is blowing and the sun is rising. And I have the Judgment card here. So I'm taking this as an authentic message from the other side, which is I was sad, I'm happy now. I was with I was hurting. I'm with people who are my people now. My ancestors have welcomed me, and the sad situation has changed. That's the Wheel of Fortune, and all the rest is happiness and companionship and joy. So it's just amazing to start with one of the saddest cards in the deck, the Three of Swords. I would say only the Nine of Swords is the sadder, and end up with the Ten of Cups, which is one of the happiest cards in the deck. So that's the message. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. And you know what I'm going to do after the show? I'm going to light a candle. I'm going to light a white candle anointed with holy oil for your friend and for you. How's that?
That works. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And thanks for calling. Now, we'll shuffle them up. Those are, to tell the truth, my favorite kind of readings are the readings that people ask me, just look at the cards and see what they say, because that's a real challenge. And the ones that really make me a little nervous are the ones to look across the veil into the afterlife, because, I got a collection of Ouija boards, and I've had some interesting experiences with those. And it is, oh, man, I mean, it's just, you never know what you're going to find. You never know what you're going to do. I was once asked years ago by somebody, could you tell me how this person is doing, the person who passed away? And the card I got was the devil, And oh man, she said, I knew it. I knew he was going to go there. I knew he was going to end up there. That was the end of the reading. That was a short reading. That was a one-card reading, friends. That's all it was. So let's just shuffle up the cards again, and I will tell you a little bit more. Oh, by the way, speaking of Ouija boards, if you have any questions about Ouija boards, you go to my site, magic-works.com. I think this has got to be the biggest page in my whole website, is the one on Ouija boards. It's crammed with information and pictures and fun stuff. You can download sheet music from the 1920s that has a song by, I don't remember if it's Albert von Tilzer or Harry von Tilzer. They were two big songwriters in the early 20th century. One of them wrote Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Hey, you don't get a bigger hit than that. And no, there was no pun intended. That was, that brings back such memories of the time I went to Yankee Stadium. Can you believe that? Been a New Yorker all my life, natural-born New Yorker, been to Yankee Stadium once, just once. Mickey Mantle was playing, so I guess I got my money's worth. So go to magic-works.com, magick-works.com, and you will see a whole bunch of stuff there. I'm now updating and putting in some new instructions on my page about out-of-body experiences. Have you ever done that? You ever traveled outside your body? I have done some remarkable experiments with not remote viewing per se, although I have a page about that too under the ESP page, but actually leaving your body and going somewhere and time traveling. Oh, boy, you can do some stuff with that. I have had remarkable experiences in my own life just going back in time to witness certain incidents in my life from my childhood. And I've seen it. I've been there. It's like Total Recall, but you're seeing it from another point of view. I can teach you how to do that stuff too. I have a meditation there, a visualization meditation that you can download and use. I have all kinds of free stuff on my website, magic-works.com. Then I have mojoacademy.org for Mojo Brothers books. Now that isn't free. The stuff there, I mean, but you take a look at it. There's books there that will change your life. Books and now audio and some video too. Check those out because along with tarot reading, those are the kind of things I really like doing, is getting into the magical side of things and showing people how to really enhance their lives through things like meditation. Now, meditation is where it's at, especially in troubled times. Meditation is hard to do. Meditation, if you try to shut your mind down, your mind is going to say, hey, wait a minute, who's the boss around here? So it's going to be very difficult. But I have some guided meditations that you should know about. You could check out the meditation page at magic-works.com. And also, there's a recording from the 1950s that's probably one of the first guided relaxation meditations ever done. And we have reissued that. You check that out. I will put a link up to that on my Facebook page also, which is my Facebook tarot page. You can get to that also just through askoneradio.com or through magic-works.com. You and I, we're going to do a lot of things together one of these days to improve your life and my life too, because I don't do these things for you. I do them with you. So when you grow, we all grow, and I grow. And that's one of the things about a tarot reading with me is that we both learn. I mean, that's the way it is. I'm not like some power from on high. I'm just a regular guy who took the time to learn how to read and interpret tarot cards. You can do that too. We'll talk about that later. Right now, Tracy in Dallas is on. Hi, Tracy. You're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Amidst all of the chaos that's going on right now. Doing fine.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I mean, I'm in New York, so people driving around. People driving around the country with New York license plates are getting avoided on the roads. So
wow. Well, my heart goes out to all of the citizens in New York at this time, and all across the world, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let me tell you something. It's really not as dire media is making it out to be. I do the numbers every day. I look at the health department. I look at the Centers for Disease Control. And right now, this is always a surprise to people. Right now in New York City, the number of people who have picked up this virus, it's 2/5 of the population. So we got it pretty much under control. It's not ain't no nightlife to speak of. And I think there's a few bartenders who think I must have died, but this is. But 2/5 of the population. That's pretty good. So
Right.
we got to at least give each other credit for keeping this thing in check. The human beings have centuries of experience with outbreaks like this, so we all know what to do, which is to apply some common sense stuff, which is, stay 6 feet away and wash your hands and stay in if necessary. And of course, me being an old geezer, I'm probably got to go a little lighter too, so there you go.
Right. I understand. Well, I agree with you. And, over time we'll get through this and then carry on with life. And new world that we're approaching is, it's going to be an exciting new world.
Yeah, we're going to get through this, and like I always tell people, just remember, the fear is worse than the disease, because fear, and I have something, if you look at my page on my website, this goes for everyone listening, magic-works.com, magic with a CK, check out the page called Healing Power. Now, this is not like mystical stuff that's going to heal you, because that doesn't exist. The stuff I have there is about the body's innate ability to heal itself, which we all have. And one of the things that any doctor will tell you that, and I'll give you a grotesque example of it, any doctor will tell you that if you're in a state of fear, your immune system shuts off because your body doesn't have the energy to use the immune system if it has to run, like fight or flight. So whatever you can do to not be afraid, do it. We're watching reruns of the old Batman show here, because that's just goofy and funny. There was a case, I'll tell you about this, about what fear does and why, and this, I'm going to make this as delicate as possible, but there was a murder case years ago, I think in the 1930s, where a person was seen having dinner in a restaurant and then was found murdered, and in the autopsy they saw that the food was barely digested. So they figured he was killed shortly after having dinner, but they kept the guy tied up in the basement so his digestion stopped out of fear. And then that way they could trick people about the time of the killing. So listen, before we go on and on, what do you want to see in the tarot cards?
Well, I'm very much interested in my future. I have a lot of faith in the overcoming of this situation, and I'm looking forward to a fresh new start, and just would like to kind of
wait a minute. Bingo, right there. Right, the minute you said fresh new start, what did I do? I pulled out the Ace of Cups. The aces are beginnings. Okay. You said the magic word there. And the Ace of Cups is about the beginnings of happiness. It's about the beginning of it's got a sunrise, in a lot of the decks. So it's about a whole new day.
Great.
You just really hit that. Now, the next card is the Empress. That's a person who can make things grow and make things happen. You're a very creative person, am I right?
That's correct.
Well, you're going to use that creativity and you're going to make things happen.
Mm-hmm. Great. I do a lot of writing and sketching and drawing and singing and a lot of different creative. That's where I get my mojo at, I guess.
Well, the arts are where it's at, because that's the expression, and that is so good. Let me tell you something else, and this goes for everyone listening. If you really want to put yourself in a good, upbeat mood, this is phenomenal stuff. I meant to talk about this last week, and I put something on my website about this. The people who make a list of things that they're grateful for in life will stay happier than the average person for the next 2 months.
Oh, wow.
So that's something that everybody can do too, is let's all make a list of something we're grateful for. But what I'm seeing here is that, like here, there's the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is about a new way of seeing things, a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing the world. So yeah, you're headed for a really, really good time. The Sun is the next card. Healing, growth, health, all the good things from the Sun. So I only stopped you because what you said was exactly the card that I got. about a new start
Great.
and happiness and growth. So you're headed for you're headed for the time of your life, literally.
Great. I feel that as well. I mean, I'm excited, you know. And
Well, the cards are confirming what you feel. That's for sure.
Great.
Well, I'm going to see if I can get one more reading in before I go. I've only got a few minutes left, but keep in touch. I'm here every Wednesday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific. Through this, and we're all going to keep as positive as we can. Okay.
Well, I was excited, and I'm grateful for you guys to have me on, and you are an amazing host, and I'm going to continue to listen to the show, and I encourage everyone out there to keep listening.
Thank you very much. That's a beautiful thing to say. I really appreciate it. You made my night. Bye-bye.
Great. All right.
Now,
Thank you.
I got the cards all shuffled up. Let's see if we can get in one more call. And Corinna in Washington. Hi, you're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hi.
Hi, what can I look at for you tonight? Don't mean to rush you, but we're up against the clock here. It's amazing how fast this goes. What would you like to look at?
My romance. The romance.
Romance, okay. Let's see what we've got here. Well, you're facing a lot of competition, is what I'm seeing here in terms of romance. But things are going to happen. I've got that's the Five of Rods. It's about stiff competition. I've got exactly the kind of cards you're going to want, too. The Eight of Rods is about something on the way now. It's just like that feeling that I had with the last call, that something is coming good. There's something coming at you, and the next card tells what it is. And the next card is the Two of Cups. Okay, the Two of Cups is the card for the beginning of a new relationship and a new romance, or if you're in a relationship, it means it's going to reach a new level. So that's coming right at you now. Now, here's the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is the beginning of a new relationship that's just taking shape. Remember, cups are about romance and emotion and all of that good stuff. And the Knight is the beginning. Now, the Knight can be a little uncertain because the Knight is on horseback, so it jumps around, like on a chessboard even. But it means that something new and exciting is coming. Oh, bingo, the Ace of Cups. How many times do I get the Ace of Cups tonight? That means we're all on the verge of something good coming. So, yes, there is. The Eight of Swords is the first card I got, which is a person who feels that there's nothing happening, that you're stuck, you're not going anywhere. The Five of Rods is the card that led me to say that there's some stiff competition out there, but the Eight of Rods says something is coming, and the next three cards tell me exactly what it is. There is no doubt in my mind. Two of Cups, Knight of Cups, Ace of Cups, that's a relationship. That's a romance. Okay?
Okay.
And I think it's going to be really good for you.
What I needed to know.
I've got two more cards here. Get this. The Lovers. Now, there you go. You can't get better than that. And the Temperance card, which is a card of balance, which tells me it's going to be a really good relationship. It's going to be well balanced for you. So let me know how it works out. You got something really good coming just around the corner.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And that's it, folks. Here, we just shuffle the deck up. And that's it. We've got through another edition of Reverend Elliot's Magical Window, the show that asks the question, when will he stop talking and read those cards? I just love communicating, and I get such a burst of energy. Sometimes I listen back to these shows and I hear, hi, this is Reverend Elliot, at the beginning of the show. And by the end, I'm talking like 9,000 miles an hour. I could keep going forever. In fact, if you called me after the show somehow, if you emailed me, we'd probably get into a conversation. But don't do that because I'm going to try to get some sleep tonight. I usually don't get to sleep till about 7 in the morning after I do the show because I'm so keyed up. But there's so much positive energy out there, folks, and that's what I want you to stick with. I want you to stick with the positive energy. Remember, I told you, fear and stress can make us sick. I have a link to an article about that at the Healing Power page on magic-works.com. I have a 10-minute video by Dr. Bruce Lipton. Look him up. That is a doctor. I mean, we're talking about a healer, a real doctor. And he knows that he doesn't heal anybody. Now, that sounds odd, right? But he knows that we heal ourselves. We all, when you cut yourself and you put a bandage on it and then it's healed. How'd you do that? There's a lot of stuff you did that you don't take credit for, You got blue eyes. How did you do that? You did that. They're your eyes, you see. So there's power there. We all have more power than we know. And in fact, I have a book about that. It's called Bending Spoons with Your Mind and Other Miracles of Mind Power. Folks, if you needed mind power ever in your life, it's during a time of stress and fear. You can't let that get to you because the fear itself can damage you forever. Fear is deadly. And that's why I always talk about the book Unmasking Fear, which you'll find at mojoacademy.org. I'm not going to go on and on and on and on about that. Just check it out. You will thank me for it if you read it. You can see at Amazon.com, and you go to the link, that there are 2 people there who wrote reviews about how important this book is. These are verified readers who bought the book. So we'll be talking about this in the weeks to come, because don't give in to fear and don't give in to stress. Easier said than done. I can show you how to do it. I can show you how to make that happen. So I've got to go now. We're going to be out of here in a matter of seconds. So until next week, remember, time flies. It's 2 minutes. Have I really got 2 minutes to go? Yeah, okay. Wow. Well, so what can we talk about for 2 minutes? Let's see. I'll tell you what I'll do. I shuffled up the cards. Let's pull out a card to see what the situation in the world is like now. Bingo. Again. Gosh, I love these cards. The Star. Hope and optimism. Hope and optimism. Now, you couldn't get a better reading than that. The next card is the Wheel of Fortune. That means this too is going to change. The situation is going to change. The Tower, struck by lightning. Notice that these are all major cards. That means the situation is going to change, and it's suddenly. And the next one, unbelievable. Also a major card. It's the Sun, the card of healing and growth. Just what I got for the man who called from Texas, Tracy. We got the Sun, which is healing and growth and happiness and health and all the good things. People think bad things come from the sun because we're trained to think that the sun is going to poison us and kill us. But that's only if you overdo it. People who work out in the sun actually have a lower rate of sun-related diseases than other people who try to cram in sun, a day at the beach and then do that. Nope. So listen, that is the prognosis that I see. The Star, the Wheel of Fortune, the Tower, the Sun. These are outstanding, positive, wonderful cards. Again, go to my website, magic-works.com, magic-works.com. You can contact me through the contact form there if you want a full reading. If you feel you need a reading, you need someone to talk to, give me an email. Send me an email. Shoot me an email. But go to magic-works.com and look at the Healing Powers page and see how dangerous stress is. So now I'll say it again. Till next week, remember, time flies. It's up to you to be the navigator. Bye-bye now.